Discover solutions to issues that affect your family and professional life with practical information to help you get past life's adversities. Take a proactive approach to power up your life with Rosalie's expert resources.
Technology continues its mission to increase the quality of our lives, from entertaining us to protecting those we love all year long. With a new season of the coolest new technology products being launched, Emmy Award-winning technology and digital lifestyle commentator Mario Armstrong joins us with his picks for the latest and the greatest for everyone this fall. Good morning, Mario.
Good morning, Rosalie. So good to hear your voice. And you're right, I do have some really cool picks for this fall. I'm going to start first, though, with something really fun the kids are going to love.
Oh my, what is that creature?
It's the Mechano Mechasaur. It's made by Spin Master. It's really innovative, super cool, creative for kids that love to create, use programming and build things, but also they're learning about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math principles, which is great. This is a 3-foot-long interactive T-Rex pet. And once the kids build it and program it, they can also use the Mecha Brain, which is on the back here, and then you can turn it on, do all types of different functions and modes, even get the LED lights on, and that will tell you T-Rex's mood. So you can control it to do all sorts of fun things. Kids love this, great for ages 10 and up. Parents love it because it really combines real-world engineering and programming with a fun toy. It's a great holiday gift idea, too.
All right, so what can increase the cool factor for the guys this fall?
Yeah, so this is a little bit of a different thing here, but this is exactly increasing the cool factor, and keeping us cool is exactly what the Fruit of the Loom breathable underwear actually does. They have a great unique feature in it called micro mesh, and that micro mesh enables it to whisk away moisture, but also enables it so that the airflow is supported. It's a perfect holiday gift for the man or the kid in your family.
All right, so now guys can kick back and feel cool and just relax and enjoy some music. Anything new in speakers?
It's the Polk Boom Bit, and it's ready for anything. Clips securely to your clothing. You don't have to worry about sweat, sand, mud, or even dropping it because it's shockproof as well. What's great about this and what makes it completely different, though, Rosalie, is that it doesn't fully immerse me so much that I am not aware of my surroundings. So it's very, very good for kids, for people that are jogging, but still gives me access to my music or calls or all of that while I'm on the go.
Mario, technology is so expensive. To keep up with the latest iPhones and keeping the cost of family plans down, there's a lot to it. So what's best to protect our investments?
You're going to drop your phone. It's going to happen. Keys might scratch the screen. Things are going to happen. So you want to have the best protection possible. And my first and utmost trusted brand is none other than OtterBox. And they protect your phone from drops, from scratches, from dents, and bumps, and they have so many different types of cases. And one thing's like, in order to get great protection, the cases must look horrible. These cases look amazing. So they're stylish as well as super functional. They have the full lineup of cases to cover protection for the new iPhone 7, as well as the iPhone 7 Plus. And they have the different lines that I was mentioning, the slim and sleek and slim symmetry series, which is awesome. Then there's the rugged and tough series, and even the commuter series. So 3 different types to fit your liking, but to still give you that ultimate protection.
All right, so tell our viewers where they can find all this tech information.
Yeah, all the cool stuff is up on our website. We have it all listed for you and your viewers, Rosalie. Just head on over to thunknews.com/fall.
Thanks, Mario, for joining us this morning with your picks for the latest and the greatest for everyone this fall.
Thanks so much, Rosalie. Absolutely.
Did you miss taking time off for a summer vacation this year, or at least a weekend getaway, due to all your family or work responsibilities? Well, worry no more. Fall is the best time of year for you to take advantage of a cruise to recharge and create that love boat experience to your favorite destination. From Alaska to Japan, to the Caribbean, or to the Mediterranean. Here to help create your future fondest memories is the Love Boat star herself, Jill Whalen, who played the captain's daughter on the long-running TV classic, The Love Boat. Good morning, Jill.
Well, good morning, Rosalie. You just did my whole job for me. You're fantastic.
You are too. You must have had the time of your life cruising through your career.
It has been an amazing blessing, I will tell you.
So, Jill, why is a cruise such a special way to celebrate a special occasion?
I encourage people to think outside of the box when you're celebrating, because there are the traditional celebrations, weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, graduations, things like that. But when I went to the Mediterranean this summer with my family, we invited my best friends from Pennsylvania, and we had a girls' getaway. We spent the day in the sanctuary drinking champagne and having massages. I mean, these are not things that moms get to do very often, if at all. And to know that you can do it in a place where your kids are safe and secure and they're running around having a great time, and to be able to find a place where everybody can be together at dinner time, but know that throughout the day everybody can have their own spectacular experience, is you can't do it if you're not doing it on a cruise.
I agree. Something for everyone, and only unpack and pack once.
That's the best part.
Are all ships alike, or are there different ships for different types of cruise destinations?
You know, we have different size ships, and we have a different ship, for example, in the Far East, because tastes are different there. And that's one of the things I think the line does really well, is that they try to really cater to the passenger and what their interests are and what will help make their vacation experience the best. There are different things on different ships. There are some things that have been proven to be really spectacular staples of Princess Cruises that are on every ship. The level of excellence and things that you would always expect are on all of the ships. But it's about the excursions as well, the locations, where you get to go. On the Med Cruise, we went to 7 countries. Unpacked once, as I say again.
So what do you recommend for those first-timers who are ready for a cruise experience?
Oh my gosh. Well, would you like to see Alaska? Would you like to be looking at the glaciers, or would you rather be in the Caribbean, sipping a cocktail under the Caribbean sky? It's kind of up to you. You can make it so personal to you.
For passengers who want to keep it exciting, how about port excursions?
When we were in Mexico last summer with my son, we went on one of the Discovery-sanctioned excursions, and my son got to help release baby leatherback turtles into the ocean, which was not only an amazing experience, but it was like being at school at sea. So he was getting such an education through that excursion. And then for the adults, when I was on the culinary cruise last week, we got to do a walking tour through Ensenada and go to some of the most amazing places for ceviche and for tacos and wineries. So excursions are everything, because the people who create them have just about been everywhere and have sussed out what's best in each location.
So now tell us, how can our viewers start planning the experience of a lifetime?
Go to princess.com, plan a bunch of cruises. I'm telling you, I go every year. It's the best thing ever.
Thanks, Jill, for joining us this morning to enthuse our sense of adventure, to cruise the world and celebrate life.
Come celebrate with us.
Can't wait.
Thanks, Rosalie.
We all experienced one of the most contentious elections in the U.S. history. For most of us, we have major energy issues on our minds, worrying about the effect of energy costs during the next 4 years. Joining us to share results from a recent poll and thoughts on how the election will affect energy in the U.S. is Jack Gerard, President and CEO of the American Petroleum Institute. Good morning, Jack.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on your program.
Jack, share some interesting findings from the Energy and Election poll.
Well, Rosalie, what we found with this recent survey we just completed and it just came out of the field is the American public is still focused on the energy issue, and they still want the people that are running for office to focus on the energy issue as well. Over 70% of the American people say that they are more likely to support a candidate who supports increased production, particularly of oil and natural gas, which is our primary form of energy we use in the United States today. But 75% of them also say they want us to produce more domestic energy right here at home. So when you look at this contentious election that you alluded to earlier, we hope we get beyond the personality conversations, start coming back to the policy conversations.
All right, Jack, let's talk about it. How does energy policies create or destroy job creation?
Well, it's a very important question. Today in the United States, about 9.8 million jobs are dependent upon the oil and natural gas industry. Now, the thing I always like to point out to people, a lot of people don't realize, is the jobs pay extremely well. The median wage in our industry and what we call the upstream, the exploration and production side, is about $100,000 a year. We've created a lot of those jobs as we produce more energy right here at home. And the future is bright to produce even more energy here at home. We still have some imports coming in, and we can produce more of America's oil and gas. We can refine it here. We transport it here through pipelines, through rail, through trucks, etc. But the real beneficiaries, Rosalie, as we all know, is the American consumer. AAA's concluded that the average American today saves $500 a year because the price of gasoline has dropped so much. The average American family saves $1,300 a year to heat and power their home. So not only is it a great job creator, but it benefits the average American who every day relies on energy to get back and forth to work, take their kids to school, go visit with grandma, whatever they're doing. And that's a big positive. So there's lots of positives associated with good, sound energy policy.
Energy policies can actually benefit all Americans.
It does.
So we all must understand the major energy issues so that we can unite across all political lines, right?
It really does, and it shouldn't be a partisan issue. Energy is not about Republicans and Democrats and independents and socialists or whatever your particular stripe is. It impacts us all, and it impacts us in our daily lives. So what we encourage particularly politicians to do is get over this division and let's look at it from an American vantage point. We're increasing our energy security. We have the potential now to create well-paying jobs right here at home and ship our energy around the world. We're finding natural gas now is bringing our carbon emissions down to a near 20-year low. No one would have predicted that just 5 or 6 years ago. Yet we find those aren't mutually exclusive choices. We can produce more U.S. energy, further improve our environment, benefit all consumers. This is a great success story, and we wish politicians would get over the personalities and get us back to these policy conversations.
If you had your crystal ball, how will this election affect the bottom line in energy costs for our homes to our cars?
Well, I think, Rosalie, a lot of that depends on who gets elected. You know, there's some differing views as to what the energy future of the United States should be. There are some who believe we ought to put the thumb on the scale, take the government's heavy hand, if you will, and suggest, no, let's just pick one or two of these favorite forms of energy. They tend to focus only on renewables. Yet the practicality is renewables can't displace all the other forms of energy we have today, like oil, natural gas, nuclear, coal, whatever it might be. We believe the government should set a broad standard to generally drive a true all-of-the-above energy conversation, and then let the market sort out the differences, because the market is what brings the greatest benefit to the consumer. It's competition. It's our great democracy that allows the consumer, the voter, to benefit. That's why we think the policy has consequences, and we believe the best approach is broad standards where you allow the market to benefit the consumer, not the government picking and choosing their favorite forms of energy.
So Americans must unite and get educated on energy policies so that we can voice our opinions to our elected officials, correct?
Absolutely. We'd encourage everyone not only get out and vote, but talk, think, study this energy question. It's probably one of the most dominant issues in our lives that impacts everything we do. and then make sure their elected officials know how they feel about that. And our recent poll shows that over 75% of the public says, hey, we get it. We want more domestic energy. We want to we want to create these good paying jobs because it benefits us as consumers. That's a positive message, and we need to get these politicians to quit talking about political parties and differences there and focus on what the American public needs and what they want.
Because the truth is, Jack, we're all in this boat together.
We are.
All right, Jack, so tell us where we can find more energy policy information.
Well, you're welcome to go to our website, which is api.org, api.org, and there you can find lots of conversation about lots of different energy forms, the data from our most recent poll, and some of the issues that would help the public become better informed about the question.
Thanks, Jack, for joining us this morning and sharing what America is thinking about energy issues.
Thank you.
For a growing number of women, declining hormones, job stress, relationship issues, and family problems can take a toll on a woman's love life and cause distress for her and her partner. This problem may be an underlying health condition. A new national survey reveals about half of women are having lower sex drive than in the past, and they're just dealing with it despite the strain on the relationship and the impact on their well-being. Joining us this morning to educate women on this undiscussed health condition and help reignite their spark is Dr. Leah Milheiser, Clinical Assistant Professor of Obstetrics and Gynecology at Stanford University. Good morning, Dr. Milheiser.
Good morning. It's great to be here, and I'm very happy to say hello to all my fellow Floridians, which is my home state.
Doctor, you've devoted your career to treat all aspects of female sexual health, from adolescence through postmenopause, including sexual wellness of cancer survivors. So tell us, how important is a healthy sex life for all women?
You know, it's really quite important. And I'll say this, if you look at research that's been done, when a woman experiences, for example, low sexual desire, it has these tentacles that reach into every aspect of her life. It's not just about intimacy with her partner. It can affect her body image, her self-esteem, the way she interacts with her peers at work, the way she interacts with her children. So it really has this overall impact on quality of life, which is why it's so incredibly important to talk about it. And you know, you brought up that this issue is quite common. If you look at the numbers, about 44% of women in this country have a sexual concern. That's almost half of all women. And many of those women actually experience female sexual dysfunction.
Could a loss of feeling in the mood be a sign of a medical condition?
It can be a sign of female sexual dysfunction. That is really when a woman experiences a chronic problem. So it could be a low sex drive. It could be difficulty with arousal. It's a problem that lasts typically for several months. Usually we say more than 6 months. And it causes a woman personal distress, meaning it's very bothersome to her. Now, female sexual dysfunction is not caused by a different medical disorder. It's not caused by a medication. It's not caused by a relationship problem. This can be as a result of a change in brain chemistry. So it's very important for women to speak with their healthcare provider if they think they have female sexual dysfunction. For example, it's not just that problem where I'm tired, I'm not always in the mood, my kids are stressing me out, work is stressing me out, you know, I've been with my partner for 30 years, it's not so exciting anymore, but yet when we go on vacation, all the sparks fly again and I'm fine. That's not female sexual dysfunction. That's just a normal changes that women go through. So there is a difference, and we really want more women speaking about it.
So doctor, why are women so embarrassed to discuss this problem?
Yeah, you know, this is true, and if you look at research that's done, women will say, I'm embarrassed to bring up the topic. I want women to know your healthcare provider is there to answer your questions. It takes a lot to embarrass a healthcare provider. We've heard it all, and we want to know about your sexual function, and I'll tell you another reason why. A sexual concern can also be a sign of another underlying medical disease. So it's not only about how important it is to talk about your sexual function and quality of life, but we want to make sure that you're healthy so that your general health is good. So it is important to bring up any new symptoms that you've been experiencing or changes in your sexual function for many reasons, both health and quality of life.
Doctor, if I was to ask you one thing you want our viewers to remember from this interview, what would that be?
It would be empower yourselves to become educated, and I would recommend that women go to a great new website called findmyspark.com. This is an educational initiative that was started or created by the American Sexual Health Association and supported by Valiant. And what they did is they actually worked with clinicians like me who are experts in the field of sexual health to really put together an educational site to explain what female sexual dysfunction is, to give tips on how you should bring up the topic with your clinician or your healthcare provider. What kind of questions should you be asking? There's also some great video clips from experts like me on this topic of sexual dysfunction. I think really what we want to share is that women with female sexual dysfunction are not alone. It's quite a common problem in the United States, and we really want women to get educated and empower themselves to open up that conversation with their healthcare provider.
Thank you, Dr. Millhiser, for joining us to share the importance of sexual wellness and its impact on our overall well-being.
Thank you for having me.
Each day, doctors and surgeons identify a patient's risk factors for a surgical procedure and the possibilities of post-operative complications. For a patient, surgery can be stressful, knowing there are real risks, even if they are in great health. Some risks can be controlled, but not all. A new online tool helps to calculate a patient's individual risk when having a surgery and identifies top performing hospitals for your particular procedure. Here to explain how the tool helps you make an informed decision about where to get your surgery for your particular procedure is Dr. Archiel Giorgio, a physician, consumer advocate, medical reporter, and strategic advisor to HealthGrade. Good morning, Dr. Giorgio.
Good morning.
Doctor, explain how this new online tool works.
The HealthGrade's Risk IQ tool allows an individual to understand their personal risk of a complication for 6 common surgeries. And here's why that's important. Every single surgery has some level of risk, as you just mentioned, but each person's individual risk is different. So the way the tool works is that by inputting some personal information about yourself, your past medical history, and identification of where you live, the Risk IQ tool automatically calculates whether you're low, average, or high risk, and then it also identifies the closest 5-star hospitals with the lowest complication rate, lowest mortality rate for the particular procedure that you are intending to have.
Why should a patient's individual risk influence the decision on where to have surgery?
Well, there's multiple risk factors that weigh into whether or not you're high risk, low risk, or average risk. And most of them we can't control. So unfortunately, you can't control your age, your gender, your sex, or your past medical history. But you can control, Rosalie, you can control the hospital where you choose to have your care. And we've talked in the past, not all hospitals have the same outcomes. So for example, if somebody needs to have a hysterectomy, if they go to a 5-star hospital, meaning one with the lowest complication rates compared to the national average, they decrease their risk of a complication by 60%. But that 5-star hospital isn't always the closest hospital, isn't always the one that's within the community. And so this tool really allows people to understand what their risk is so they can make an informed decision about whether or not they're going to stay local or whether they're going to drive maybe a farther distance to get to a hospital that will give them a better chance of a good outcome.
Tell us how this tool can help our viewers in Florida select the right hospital for their particular procedure.
So let me give you some specific examples. I'll pick one for Orlando and one for the Miami, South Florida area. So in the Orlando area, only 55% of people would have to drive more than 5 miles to get a total knee replacement, such a common surgery, especially in Florida, done 660,000 times a year. But even though there's lots of hospitals close by, 76% of people would have to drive more than 10 miles to get to a 5-star hospital for that same surgery. Hospitals like Florida Hospital Orlando. Let's move to Miami. In Miami, 36% of people would have to drive more than 5 miles to get open heart surgery. Again, a surgery that's done at so many different institutions. But 75% of people would have to drive more than 10 miles to get that done at a 5-star hospital. Hospitals like Baptist Hospital in Miami. The point here being is that lots of hospitals in our own communities perform all of these procedures, but sometimes the hospital that performs at the highest level with the lowest complication rate and low mortality rates are farther away. And I would always choose to go to a hospital that has the best outcomes, but people can use the risk IQ tool and make a personal decision about whether or not they want to go that extra distance.
Whether you're a patient who's in great health or have a problem with obesity and other medical issues, both should consider a 5-star hospital for their procedure, right?
Absolutely. But the individual who's overweight, that indication may put them at higher risk for certain surgeries, and in that case, they may not be able to control their weight issue in the period of time that it's going to take preoperatively. So they may really choose to go the extra distance so that they give themselves a slightly better edge to have a good outcome.
So, doctor, everyone can take advantage of this tool. All they have to do is go online, look for their particular procedure, and submit their information.
That's right. It's free. It's on healthgrades.com. It's right on the homepage. And there's 6 different tools for the 6 different surgeries because every surgery has different risk factors associated with it.
Thank you, Dr. Giorgio, for joining us this morning to inform our viewers on how to use this new surgical risk assessment tool.
Thanks, Rosalie.
Most of us work hard each day to care for ourselves and our family's future. And rarely do we take time to kick back and be entertained, or travel to celebrate life, or take on a civic role to educate our community to protect our resources. Life is filled with choices to ensure our well-being and avoid a variety of risks that can influence our lives' outcomes. Share with us how you protect your well-being to avoid risks in life at facebook.com/Rose Lee Show, or follow us on Instagram at The Rose Lee Show. And watch this episode and many others here at ION Television or 24/7 at RoseleeArcherShow.com. Thanks for joining us again, and we look forward to seeing you soon.